Hello everybody, welcome to the 44th and most probably final edition of the Chicken Chess Club podcast. My name is Gustafsson. I got home last night from the Düsseldorf WR Masters and I am delighted to finally be able to talk to my dear friends Peter Heine Nielsen and Laurent Fressinet again, who I'm sure will have their own stories about their Germany trips. Peter, how are things?
They're great. As you mentioned, I was back in Germany, which is a very rare occurrence for me these days. And while it was a short trip, it was a great trip. I really enjoyed it. And I could see that Germany is still as it used to be, and it's good and bad things, right? I mean, it's the country where you feel hungry, and in Google Map you just type in Wurst, and it actually gives you a lot of great suggestions. So I went to some place, and then Germany is as it always was, that if you try to play with a credit card, they tell you, no, we don't take that. So I don't understand you guys fully. Why haven't you fixed that problem? I'm blaming you because
I don't know. For me, it's actually a problem when going abroad because I literally never use my credit card. So we had this problem when we were in Thailand because I didn't know the PIN for my credit card because I just forgot over the years because it's impossible to use in Germany. It is strange. Like, okay, there are other ways to pay, but why we haven't adjusted to credit cards in the last 30 years is a bit confusing.
It was a problem when I worked for Vichy, but it's like 10, 15 years ago that it hasn't been solved. It just amazes me in that way. I understand that I can just go and get some cash, but stupid foreigner forget these kind of things. But anyway, I maybe shouldn't blame you solely for that one. But no, Germany was great. I had a great trip, but of course the details I will keep suspense until the FIDE segment of this week.
Oh yeah. I can't wait for a little break. Laurent, you also went to Germany.
Yeah, that's the big news of the week. We were all in Germany, but we didn't meet, not even close to that. So doing different things. I was playing, if we can call that playing. So the Bundesliga, the usual. Very happy about my Sunday morning, but less happy about the Saturday. So yeah, overall a decent weekend. It's nice to, as always, I like to play from time to time and to keep a little bit in touch. So
translation is you made 2 quick draws, but the one on Saturday was with white, so you weren't that thrilled about that one?
Yeah, I played maybe, I don't know. I just I was surprised by my opponent. I mean, actually I was playing board 2 and the guy was number 7 in the list, so I didn't have time to prepare. And he's not really Alonso is not really a theoretician. It's what I thought actually, and he knew everything, so I was kind of half bluffing, hoping that he won't know the line, but he blitzed out all the moves, and this is a ridiculous way to end up a game as wide as the guy spent 5 minutes blitzing out a line which is known, but for a long time. So I hope it would be forgotten as well. So overall, it was a bad opening choice, and but the team won on Saturday. We are a little bit in trouble, actually. Werder Bremen, who has been in first Bundesliga for ever, I would say, more than 20 years. And now, if we stop the league now, we are in second league. So the last few matches will be very, very exciting and very important to save our team to keep playing on first Bundesliga.
But normally some team withdraws, no? And then you can stick around anyway.
Yeah, but you can gamble on that. And actually we are not used to that. I mean, we used to play for the title. But slowly but surely now we are going... I mean, it's a bad season, so...
But,
so you played... Sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're being way too humble, Laurent. I mean, you talk about your Saturday, but Sunday, I remember checking, and I thought, okay, who you're going to make a quick draw with? And I saw, you're black against Kamsky. That's not going to be very nice for you. But you made an easy draw.
I mean, to be very honest, I was very skeptical. I was very concerned.
Me too.
I mean, like, I'm black against Kamsky. If I end up some slightly worse, stuff... Well, this is Kamsky, this can go on for forever. I can miss my plane, I can lose my game. Everything can go wrong.
Those were your worries.
Yeah. So I mean, like, both combined is actually. I mean, one of the two is okay, but both is a bit unpleasant. But yeah, it went well. Actually, so I was very happy about my Sunday, but Saturday was a bit disappointing. So
Better that way than the other way around.
What about you, Jan? We always forget to ask how you feel.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm good. A little tired. Like, yeah, I spent 2 weeks in Düsseldorf in this very nice hotel where the WR Masters was being held, and I had a train trip home on Monday. It was a nice train trip, actually. I traveled with Gukesh, with Sagar Shah, and with Ilan Parti, who's a 13-year-old who's probably much, much better at chess than me. He's the reigning world champion under 14, and he was giving Gukesh exercises on the train. And yeah, Gukesh was quite good solving them, but this kid, he didn't only know all the answers, but also every sideline you would throw at him, he would just refute instantly, blindfold. So he was very impressive. And yeah, it was a pleasant trip until I fell asleep on the table, probably started snoring for the last 3 hours. But what can you do? You know how it is, the seconds drop. It was very exhausting.
Help me a bit with the geography. Why did you have such a long trip? You were in Düsseldorf, right?
Train trip, Düsseldorf, Hamburg.
Is that many hours?
Yeah, like 4, I guess. Wasn't that long.
yeah, but okay, trains in Germany. You forgot to mention that, Peter, in your description of Germany. I mean, the worst thing for me in Germany are the trains. I mean, just trains in France have very bad reputation. You know, late strikes and so on. But actually, I must. I will maybe look as an arrogant Frenchman, but actually our trains are much better than in Germany.
No, that's true. It goes for every European country, and it's completely embarrassing. You want to go anywhere, you have to plan a whole day because half the trains are more than half an hour delayed, so you never get your connection. A lot of trains don't go at all. And yeah, it's been ridiculous for many years now and getting worse. I don't know how it can happen.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. So this Ilan Parti is a new. I actually this is the first time I hear that name. Okay, he's 13 years old, so I guess it's not a big surprise. But is he? So he will be Grandmaster soon, or he's already Grandmaster? Or?
He's an IM at 13 and World Junior Champion under 14, so I wouldn't bet against him becoming a Grandmaster.
Yes, I have no clue who it is, so you have to enlighten me a bit more.
No, that's all I know. They had this camp at the WR Master for gifted kids from all over the world. Gelfand was giving some lessons, and he was there, and some other kids. And yeah, I didn't know much either, but I was very, very impressed. First of all, very nice kid. Also, I have to say, Gukesh and Pragnanda, we had dinner with them on the last day with Anish and Ramesh and Sagar. Such nice kids. They're so pleasant. How can they be so pleasant? I mean, I'd be so full of myself if I was 16 or 17 and good at chess. But they're humble, friendly, funny. There's nothing to dislike.
But you are annoyed. That it
No,
was so
no,
friendly.
not at all. No,
come
really
on,
not,
come on.
really not. 'Cause normally,
I mean, come on, not to me. You don't like. You don't buy it when people are too friendly.
No, that's what I mean.
It.
Normally, I get very suspicious when someone's too nice. But they're not like unpleasantly nice, not over friendly. They're just chill. I mean,
no, but I'm watching a lot of Seinfeld for some reason, and there, I think in one of the previous episodes, the problem is that they are used to their own social circle. So you are hanging out with me and Laurent, who are incredibly rude. They're just normal people. Just for us, they seem incredibly nice from what we're used to in this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm used to broken, cynical. Midlife crisis people, and you just see some nice friendly people having pleasant conversation.
This could be our last episode, actually. Yeah, I mean,
no, it could always be. I never kid in the introduction.
No. Fair enough.
This is basically what people. The only people who talk to me about the podcast, they ask. So it was your last episode. I mean, it's what people are. Yeah, I say maybe.
It's always 50-50.
Most likely, but yeah.
No. To me, they say it's interesting listening about correspondence chess, or please keep up the FIDE segment and stuff like this. No. We get very different feedback, I can hear.
Your grammar really gets worse and worse. And now you said they say when you meant he said.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, so yeah, in Düsseldorf, you played this bughouse as well, yeah? Or let's start with the tournament maybe before, but you had to play this bughouse tournament, or you are happy to do so?
No, I was scheduled to play in the bughouse, and I was very happy to stick around for it. But my partner was Kazim, who withdrew. He withdrew last minute. So I didn't have anybody to play with. So I had to, sleep long and then, get the amazing free lunch and sit in the VIP room and eat everything that was there while they were playing. It was very rough.
So rough. Anish was playing with whom?
Anish was playing with Gukesh, and they were very optimistic because they practiced the night before and they were beating some old people like Yasser and me. So they were very optimistic, but then they lost their first 2 matches and they realized that if you play against real players, bughouse is not so easy.
Can you put a piece to give checkmate in one move or not?
We should maybe explain what bughouse is for a second. So you play chess on 2 boards, and if you capture one of your opponent's pieces, you pass them on to your partner, who can then insert it on his board instead of making a move. And there are different rules depending on where you're from. The rules that were played here was you can't insert a piece with checkmate, but you can insert with check, which was fine. This I'm used to from my childhood. But the different rule was if you promote a pawn, I'm used to the pawn just going to the other side. But here was you can promote a pawn and then take a piece from the opposing board, which changes the dynamics completely because a pawn on the 7th is incredibly powerful. And it's never mate next move because you can always promote a pawn and then take the piece that's giving the check. So it's a very different game, and I can't say I really mastered it. But yeah, it's actually fun. And also, my cynicism got broken a little bit because it's so pleasant to see all these guys. I think we talked about it last episode. Like when the tournament is over, they just come to this VIP room where we're hanging out, and they're playing bughouse and big smiles everywhere. Everybody's sincerely having a good time. Like they really love chess and everything connected to it, which, of course, something I struggled with, but it gave me some positive emotions to see that. So yeah, the vibe was really nice.
So welcome back to the negative emotions.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, you are here in your basement with us. I mean, it's just negative usual emotions. Yeah, I used to play this bughouse, the worst stuff. Yeah, taking piece on the other board and also giving checkmate. Just you can put a piece and it's checkmate. So that was the harsh way. I mean, like you are basically allowed to do anything. Which made it fun. I used to play a lot when I was a kid. Peter, did you play this bughouse or not?
Well, I have played it, but I think bughouse is okay. But there's this game called shogi you probably heard about. It's the same principle, just played on one board. It's completely different things. So
we should make the shogi corner. Yeah, after the correspondence, FIDE and shogi corner.
I discovered shogi. Okay. I have thought a bit about bughouse, but shogi is a completely different league.
So sometimes you think about bughouse during your golf rounds here?
No, not that much. No, at some point I was trying to think about it also in terms of, this kind of piece value, and also thinking about that if you made, let's say, an AlphaZero model play bughouse, how would that look? That would actually be quite interesting, I thought. But also time becomes such a big factor of it, so it's very very difficult in a way.
Time is key, of course, because if you can let the clock run when you need something and your opponent has less time.
No, I can basically not think about a game without starting to wonder what is sort of the optimal strategy. Even I played Connect 4 with my kid at 8, and I start thinking of some PhD thesis I read at some point, and I lost the game.
I read that thesis too. It's a solved game, but I read it to be more proficient in Thailand bars. Laurent knows what I'm talking about.
Well, did I beat you, Jan?
I don't think we played each other, but I've certainly seen you lose a couple of games of Connect.
I beat Jordan for sure.
Okay, that's likely.
That's likely, thank you.
No, why to move wins in Connect 4, but it's not easy. There are too many variations. I couldn't memorize it.
No, you win if you put it in the middle. If you put just on the sides, it's a draw, and if on the side, further out, it's a loss, as far as I remember. But
I know what Laurent's thinking.
Yeah, and then you have to again. I think the basic strategy is to care about odds and evens depending on which color you are playing. But Anyway, I'm not going to be allowed to have neither Shogun or Connect 4 corner. So we
Now Connect 4 is fine.
Okay. Cool.
Connect 4 is fine, yeah. Actually, I also play with my kids.
Useful information for us.
And sometimes when I lose, I'm okay. Most of the time I win, of course. I guess it's the same for you. But sometimes I lose, which is a bit, surprising to me.
But I generally lose on purpose to my kids and everything. I'm just scared too angry.
You do that,
Yeah.
Never. Okay, let's get to, for me,
Yeah.
slightly more negative events. There was a chess tournament, the WR Masters. 9 rounds were played, and my boss, beloved on this podcast, Anish Giri, did not have a great tournament. Drew 8 games, lost 1 game to Levon. So yeah, obviously, bad result for, I'm sure Laurent will elaborate on the reasons. Some good positions. Then this game against Levon, was
90% though. I said on that very podcast last week.
Yeah, but when you said that, he was already much worse. I didn't want to correct it, not to jinx anything, but yeah, I didn't like how that game went. Was an equal position from the opening, but then some strange decisions. And Levon also played a great tournament. Like you could tell in Vike, he was basically trying to wrap up the games and go for a walk. And here he was trying. Of course, he didn't. Always succeed, but had plus 3, looked really, really, really good.
Yes and no. I thought that he was doing extremely well, but then suddenly he lost a game and he was quite lost in the next one, right? It actually looked like he was about to spoil it, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that. So looked like Levon was running away with the tournament, but then he had the white pieces against Nepomniachtchi, and he had plus 3. I think Nepomniachtchi had 50% at the time, or plus 1. I'm not sure.
50%. Yeah. He won the last 2, and the last one against Keimer. Not the last 2, 7 and 9 against Levon and Keimer. Yeah. To my surprise, actually. But I was completely wrong in predicting anything in that tournament. Actually, I wouldn't predict Levon doing that well. That was very impressive. He became a bit nervous. Maybe I don't know what happened really, but it's what he explained. I saw the press conference, and against Nepo, he was on plus 3, and basically he was. I know the feeling. Yeah, you think though is a very good result, but you're white, so you want to push a little bit and see, and then you play one move, then you think, okay, let's make a draw, but maybe not, and then you get into a worse position, you get into trouble. So it's what he did actually in the last round. He decided, okay, no more. As you said, Peter, he lost round 7, almost lost round 8. He decided, okay, enough is enough. I will just make a draw with Gukash as white, and we'll play the tiebreaks.
Yeah, this game against Nepomniachtchi was special. I agree, it's his usual spot. You want to draw, but you don't want to force it with white because it looks strange. Or maybe you did want to force it and was surprised in the opening because Nepomniachtchi played the Bishop e7, Queen's Gambit, which he usually doesn't play. But it looked like a psychological masterpiece from Nepomniachtchi because, okay, he plays this very boring line, and of course white is fine, but Nepomniachtchi twice repeats the position, twice, and then makes a different move. And Levon even claimed a 3-fold repetition in one of these cases, which, was wrong. And of course shows he really, really wanted that draw. And Nepomniachtchi then kept making a different move. And when the position got sharp, Nepomniachtchi did some sharp stuff instead of repeating G5, F5. Levon cracked. So I think, he couldn't handle this situation with not being sure, like, are we making a draw or what's going on here? And then when you have to switch to calculating lines from trying to get over with, of course, it's a tough spot. But to his credit, he pulled himself together, then saved a bad position, made this quick draw against Gukash, and won the tiebreak quite convincingly.
I think we should celebrate that, right? I mean, it's from an odds perspective, it's obvious that Aronian should play with white against Gukash, but making a draw, he gets a playoff where you have both colors and someone could catch up as well. It's an incredibly chicken decision that gets rewarded, right?
I think on paper, yes, but in practice, I've almost never seen people not do it. When there are like two co-leaders, even if they can be caught. I'm not sure if it's this fear of some death thing that you think at least like this I get a tiebreak, or you also lock up some money, like there were decent prices, and if you lose the game and you fall back to whatever fourth, then I think in practice people do it. If it's chicken or not, it's hard to say, but it's also...
I mean, the trend was poor. The trend was poor.
Yeah.
I mean, he played a couple of very poor games. Yeah, to back up what you said, Jan, against Nepos is... I can imagine Nepo doing some faces, and you don't know how to interpret them. You will repeat twice, and Nepo will look at you and maybe smile, maybe do something. So it's a bit confusing, I guess.
Yeah, you might think the guy wants to draw, and then he makes a different move, and it's very confusing. No, he did nicely there.
So kudos to Levon, who did brilliantly actually in the tiebreaks. Very impressive, good nerves.
There was some drama connected to the tiebreaks, or maybe drama is strong. But yeah, it was Levon and Gukesh. Also Gukesh, 16 years old. Shout out to him. Finished on +2 in this tournament, which is pretty good. But they were there, and Nepomniachtchi won his last round game against Keimer, but after a 7-hour fight. And then the tiebreak was scheduled for the same night, so I think it started like half an hour after Nepomniachtchi's game was over or something in that neighborhood. And Nepomniachtchi was not too happy about it, and I think he, as he often does when things don't go so well, he let his displeasure be known. I believe I wasn't there exactly, but after the
tiebreak or before the tiebreak?
Maybe both. I didn't see what was debated before the tiebreak. I guess he asked if it could be played the next morning, and I don't know all the details. Maybe there was some talk at some point about having it the next morning. But yeah, it was played that night, and of course it's a competitive disadvantage if you played 7 hours. On the other hand, it's always tournaments have their schedules, and you don't know who's gonna play how long. But yeah, he wasn't thrilled about that. And then to add insult to injury, he also lost in the bughouse finals together with Matlakov. He lost to Levon and his partner, who was the sponsor of the tournament, Vadim Rosenstein. So they lost in the bughouse finals. So Nepomniachtchi, probably not thrilled. Although overall, has to be said, +2, unbeaten. It didn't look like the tournament would be so successful for him from his play in the first couple rounds. But it finished, I think, positively for him, but then on a sour note, let's say.
No, it's a very positive tournament for Nepo. Obviously, his last before the World Championship match, comparing to Ding in Vike. Well, it's just completely different and much better. So I guess he's even more. I'm still hoping for my boy Ding, but now Nepo is maybe we'll touch that subject later, but after the two tournaments we saw, the one from Nepo here and the one from Ding in Vike, and considering the informations we have and the experience Nepo has, now I have to admit that Nepo is a favorite, I guess.
Certainly looks like it currently, but also, as we could see, even just after the tiebreak, he is very affected by losing, and if he loses a game, I think it hurts his chances so much more than Ding's chances if Ding loses a game. So you don't know how it's going to play out, but his results have been better for sure.
And kudos to what you said to Gukesh, who confirmed that he will be one of the contenders for the World Crown in a few years from now. I mean, it's pretty clear he will at least play the candidates. That is very obvious. He's only 16 +2 undefeated. I mean, very, very solid performance and very, very strong performance as he did in Vike. In Vike he started terribly and then he came back, played very good games at the end. So it's just a confirmation that he will be one of the top players in a few years from now.
So how is the junior power rankings? Is Gukesh on top now suddenly instead of Abdusatorov?
It's very hard to say, because we change it so much after every tournament, and if we add points from...
Or train trip,
exactly. If we add points from Vaikansee and Düsseldorf, I'm pretty sure Abdusatorov still outperformed Gukesh by quite a bit.
No, I feel to be fair, after all those tournaments, I feel Gukesh and Abdusatorov now are the top, absolute top two, and then behind there is, I don't know in which order we should put them, but Gazi. For me, Gazi, Keimer, Prague are in a different category than Gukesh and Abdusatorov. I'm very impressed by both of them, actually.
Yeah, hard to argue. They both showed they can be near the top in these super tournaments, and the others have yet to show that. And yeah, I'm Team Gukesh all the way. Such a nice kid, and also he seems very confident, but without being unrealistic or anything. And the fighting spirit he showed in Vike when things were going terribly at 1.5 out of 7, to not collapse there against his world-class field, I think shows amazing mental strength. And then, as I said, the guy has a train trip right after a tournament, 4 hours from Düsseldorf to Hamburg, and where I sleep or do random nonsense, he just solves chess exercises for 4 hours. So, like, the work ethic or the love for the game is very much there. No, big fan.
Of course, I should mention that in this junior power rankings, I spoke about Gukesh and Abdusattorov, but of course, my number one is still
the fashion guru,
the fashion guy, the Parisian guy, my boy Aliaza. He will remain, even if he doesn't play the next couple of years. I mean, he will remain the number one for a long time. So let's make this clear.
Yeah.
And then Wesley, our boy Wesley, very disappointed by his non-game against Kamer. I mean, that was such a terrible game.
But you know what happened is his algorithm broke a bit there, because it's a must-win game, or I don't know if a must-win game, but he has the white pieces. Kamer had been struggling. He can put some pressure, and instead of playing for a win, but solidly, I think he tried to force it a little bit, like taking some extremely risky strategic decisions with his E takes D and C5.
Yeah, that
and
was
Vincent,
sick.
If you give him a good position, he's very dangerous. Like, he didn't find all the cleanest wins there, but
how on earth you can play such a strong player as Wesley can make such? I mean, a miscalculation, I understand, but that was ED C5. I mean, how can this ever be good? I didn't get it. Actually.
I think it's an idea in somewhat similar positions, so maybe he knew the theme and it just didn't work nicely there. But yeah, not a great final result for Wesley, who won the first game after this gift from Duda and then scored -1. In general, the final table looks funny because, should be said, Kamer and Pragnanda, they didn't greatly disappoint either. They finished on -1, but that's really not a horrible result in a super tournament, as did Yesipenko and my boy Anish. So you have, and Duda. So you have 5 till 10 on 4 out of 9, Wesley on 50%, and 3 players on +2. Was a confusing final result. But yeah, I think the chess overall was fine, was entertaining. Of course, you had a bunch of draws, but I don't think classical chess is dead. You get something new in every round, and wasn't all Berlins. And perhaps so, I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, no, it was nice to watch the games, for sure. Yeah, Giri, I'm not going to comment, actually. I mean, I'm not surprised. I was more surprised by the Vike result. So I should find some reason for Vike and Z, not that one. That one went according to what I thought would happen. Maybe the loss. The loss was a bit too much. Let's say 9 draws would have been fair.
I mean, imagine Jan winning a tournament with Giri and then 9 draws next. I mean, then you have done it all in just 2 goes, right? I mean,
it's pity.
It's pity. And then I'm retiring.
9 draws, yeah. He will be mocked on Twitter with 9 draws, but it's better. It's still better than 1 loss and
saves you 5 rating points. Yeah, I don't know. I think we talked about it last time. He had some chances, of course, in the early games. Was winning against Gukesh, was much better against Yespenko, better against Nepomniachtchi, and so on.
Wasn't he winning against Abdusattorov as well, maybe?
Yeah, winning.
Okay,
I didn't check in detail, but yeah, he had some good chances. I think Abdusattorov mixed something up in the opening. So no, he got a lot of good positions. Also, not a secret that it's a strength to get good positions and not always converting them for reasons, I'm sure. And that can be elaborated further on future episodes of this podcast. But yeah, overall, if you don't score the goals and then, okay, you get one against in Aronian in good form, can happen. But yeah, what to say? As a second, it's always easy to say, okay, but he had good position, so my job is done. But I don't think that's true, actually. I mean, the job is to try to score as many points as possible, not to get as many computer advantages. So yeah, can't be happy.
Wow.
But what to do?
What do we think about Esipenko and Duda? So he had this first round loss, and then he made 8 draws. Disappointing, I would say. While for Esipenko, I mean, with his rating, which is a bit lower than his opponents, I mean, when you make -1 in such a tournament, you actually show that you belong there, which is already an achievement, I would say.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think for Esipenko, it's overall positive.
Okay.
Like, okay, he got caught in the opening a bit by Abdusatorov, and yeah, sometimes had some issues, but he showed his level is higher than his rating, which we also knew. Like, he used to be, 2730 not too long ago, and dropped a bit. But yeah, I think he probably won't be happy, but he shouldn't be too disappointed about the result. Duda, hard to say. He looked a bit out of it. Like, after this first round game, of course, he's a very strong player. But somehow something was missing, some spark, or I can't quite put my finger on it.
I agree. Spark, confidence, call it whatever you want. But Duda didn't seem the same power he has been at times, was my impression.
Yeah.
I mean, so...
I mean, you say he was out of it after the first game, but he was not really in the first game, let's face it. So actually...
No, but I mean, he lost his first game horribly, and it looked like after that, okay, I don't know. Yeah,
so, it's a bit of a mystery. He cancelled Vike for, I don't know, personal reasons or what was. So, yeah, overall, maybe played too much last year. I don't know, maybe a bit tired. It's always hard to say when you are outside, but disappointing, and we hope. I mean, Duda is one of my favorite player to. I mean, his games are always so entertaining. So let's wish him the best.
For sure, yeah. As for Keimer, -1, he won't be happy about. He lost the last round game with White to Nepomniachtchi, which of course ruined it a bit, but he did win 2 games. He did manage to win one in Vike. Here he beat Wesley and Abdusatorov. Abdusatorov, I thought it was a nice game. I didn't check with the computer, but it looked like some very complicated fighting game where he calculated nicely. So yeah, he hasn't shown he can join the top in these super tournaments yet, but I think he showed more potential than his results, both in Vike and in this one. It will be a good experience for him also with the opening prep and so on. So yeah, I still believe in Vincent, and it's good. I think he started with 2 losses in Düsseldorf. If he had collapsed here after Vike had gone so well, that would have been rough. But 4 out of 9 with 2 wins, I think.
And the last round loss against Nepo was so unnecessary. I mean, the position after the time control looked so like you play a few precise moves and you are not going to suffer even. Sometimes he's doing...
He's not chicken enough. I think he tried to keep play in the position where we would have looked for a way to simplify it and wrap up the draw.
He was ambitious, you think?
I think so. Like, he could have exchanged a bunch of rooks and take on d5 and have some symmetrical structure, but he kept doing stuff. Knight h1, knight h2, knight f1. And of course, if he provoke a fight against the Nepomniachtchi, he's very dangerous too. Which, might be good long term, but he paid the price there short term.
I don't know. Somehow, just in Rapid and Blitz, he seemed to be incredibly strong. Here, I don't know. Cannot pinpoint what exactly has been missing, but something has. I mean, there I was extremely impressed. Here less so in a way. Somehow, I don't know, some kind of glow or confidence. But I mean, I get your point. He's actually trying, not chickening out, right? So
No, I think it's a couple of things. No, there's opening prep, of course. It's harder to generate positions with White at this level, while in Rapid and Blitz he could play 1 knight f3 to e3, and somehow he was always getting a game. And also the resistance level from the top players. I think he generated a lot of good positions, both in Düsseldorf and in Vike, which he was probably winning in Rapid. But here, guys in Classical, they keep hanging in, and I think will be the next step for him to finish these games off.
Yeah, but he's winning already. So, I mean, he's winning not a lot of games, but some games. I mean, he's got 2 wins here. I don't know how many in Vike, but he missed also some really tough endgames in Vike. So overall, he's creating chances, and he will take them at some point. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, so that's what it was. Yeah, event. As I said, as a whatever you want to call it, second guest there was incredibly nice. Maybe too nice. Maybe don't tell Anish how much time I spent in the VIP room. But yeah, it was fantastically nice, fantastic hotel right next to the Rhine. We could go for walks. Great food, great facilities. All the players seemed extremely happy. So yeah, that was Düsseldorf.
So this is a one time, or it will be like some annual event? Was it announced? It's always nice to have some. I listened to the commentaries at times, and I saw the organizer looked very, very enthusiastic about the tournament.
Yeah, he was in the VIP room non-stop playing bughouse with everybody. So no, he seemed very happy with it. They will also have this World Team Championship in Düsseldorf, which is a new tournament in June or something. And if it continues, also depends if Peter manages to bring it down or not. I mean, we'll find out.
I'm trying very hard, I promise. Don't worry. And I'm not going to.
No, I'm not very concerned about that. No, about you trying. I mean.
No, but it's not. It's something that he will continue. Maybe he will continue organizing events on that format on a different one. I mean, nothing was announced for the next year.
I do not know.
Okay.
I think the plan is for these World Teams, and after that we shall see.
No, I didn't know about the tournament, so I'm trying to be in advance this time, to get some inside info,
No, I told, of course, the organizer Dana and Emil that the tournament was fine, but I didn't see an appeals committee anywhere.
Yeah,
which got me a little worried. What if there's a debate and you need some impartial, well-paid, well-rested judges? So I did mention that, but yeah, I'll see what I can do.
So let's make an announcement. If you need someone to talk to Nepo when he's complaining, I'm free. I'm free. I'm sure I can make myself free and come and help you out.
Yeah, we'll even be present. We'll be in the VIP room non-stop. So the ways are very short. We're just there.
We can play bughouse. It's fine.
Yeah, sure. All right. What else do we have? What's happening in the chess world? I was a bit living in this bubble. I didn't follow it that much. Baadur published a statement about him being banned from Chess.com for a year. Is that on a list of topics?
Yeah. So he did say that he was apologizing for what he said, but that he offered a peaceful resolution. It's what he says to chess.com, and just to publish a common letter and to make a public announcement where he's apologizing and that he could play. Let's put it into context. So he just insulted his opponent, his Chinese opponent. Not only insulted his Chinese opponent, but he also accused him of cheating.
But he also stereotyped a bit. No, he said get rid of all.
Yeah.
I forgot the exact quote, but I thought that, it was judged racist. I can't remember the exact quote.
It was racist. And he's apologizing in his letter. And after that, he was banned for a year from chess.com, by chess.com, obviously. And of course, he was not so happy about that and offered a peaceful. But
mainly in the letter, he's complaining. He's saying it is equivalent to sentence someone in court without any fair trial, FIDE code of ethics, and so on. It's a bit of both.
There's no fair trial when you are, let's say, playing on chess.com. It's a private company. It's what you have to understand. I mean, it's on their general regulations. They can kick you out anytime.
Also the apology is this typical wording. If anyone got offended, you have my sincere apologies. Which, I don't know. It's what people write. I don't know. I guess you can always, you can just say I apologize. No, not if anyone got offended by.
Yeah. Okay.
No, anyway, it's a private company. They can do whatever they want. No, it's not like there's a public court that can decide if they exclude players or not. I don't think there's that much more to say about it. To me, the punishment didn't seem unfair or anything, but also there's no fair or unfair necessarily. I mean, they can decide whom they let play.
Yeah, I agree. He's also, not only it was racist, but he's also accusing someone I mean, and he keeps his accusation actually without, proving anything. And apparently, chess.com seems to think that his opponent, I don't know what his name, I apologize, but he seemed to play fair, and they didn't see any reason to disqualify him. So it's both what he said and what he also, when he accused apparently unfairly his opponent.
Peter, want to weigh in on anything?
I don't have much to say, particularly on that case. I agree with most of what you say. Also, I mean, well, we can debate if it's harsh or not, but it's chess.com has the right to do so. And of course, it becomes a bit of a problem. You could argue if, private companies becomes those actually running our sport, that there is no particularly, legal system apart from what they decide. But that's how it is, and I think it is fair enough in many ways. Also, I mean, I don't think there's any debate about guilt in this case, right? I mean, well, there is log files and everything. No one is debating that. And then, you can argue what is the sort of is the punishment is right, but I think it goes along with their guidelines and things like this. And racism is something that's taken very seriously for good reason, very much in sports. So, and there's a zero tolerance against it, and that's what they are enforcing.
No, and also accusing people of cheating. Like, I didn't look at the games, but if they think there is no evidence, is also something, because you always tarnish your opponent's reputation. Obviously, cheating is the main curse that online chess has to deal with, and I understand can happen in the heat of the moment, but it's still, something we have to be very careful with as well. So there's two things.
I think that one you will get away with an excuse the first time if you apologize for this. I think it's the racism that pushes it into an immediate ban. I mean, well, to compare a yellow and a red card in football, I think that's where the line is drawn. But I'm only guessing because I don't.
Maybe he got 2 yellow. which is equivalent to, but probably I think you're right that the racism part is the biggest. Obviously, we cannot accept that in worldwide sports.
It is like in football, there is certain things that is just an automatic red card, and so you can talk about the heat of the thing, but I mean, if you call someone a cheater there, that you might get away with a yellow, but if you do it in a racist way, it's just it's a red. That's the rules in a way. But I haven't read I mean, probably you have clicked on some kind of guideline at some point, but who reads that, right? So
no. We don't do that.
Anyway, on to, I was about to say happier things, but that's not really the case.
Oh, please. Are we going to talk about... Okay, please.
Yeah, the next topic seems to be Alejandro made a statement.
No.
I'm not sure I have been reading that, to be honest. And maybe also that's too serious a case for us to do semi-unprepared like most of the time. So we can skip that. Then
I don't think he made a statement just for the record, or he just said he couldn't talk about it because of the ongoing investigation. And I heard complaints. I haven't listened to it, but from our friends at C Square podcast that people have listened to it, that they had a long segment where they said, okay, we have to talk about it, but then in the end they said, they couldn't talk about it. That's how it was told to me, but I didn't actually listen to it. But other than that,
I did listen to it, and it's basically what they did, which is, I mean, it's a very unfortunate, situation for them, because they are stating that they know very well Alejandro Ramirez. They even worked with him, Kirilla, as a co-host in this St. Louis show. Fabiano Caruana used him as a second, especially in 2018 for the candidates and for the match we played against him, so that Magnus played against him. So it's very, very, very difficult, of course, for them to comment. I could feel there's some there's clear sympathy towards Alejandro overall. And while they are waiting for the case to, there will be some court case, I guess. So they are just waiting to tell more. So yeah, they didn't say much, but it created a weird impression that they say we should address it, and at the end of the day, they just don't say anything. But it's it's not an easy topic for sure.
No, not an easy topic. Like, I don't have anything new, substantial to add. But of course, you hear some stories in this VIP room or wherever you are, some rumors, and From what I heard, it does seem like there is, quite some people that had their suspicions that something was going on. But it's. I hope that more will be coming out soon. I heard some mumblings that we will learn more shortly.
On awkward subjects, then also FIDE has made a statement on the Carlsen Niemann thing, or rather that I think. Their Fair Play Commission has made some kind of report, right? Or something came out that was put to the ethics committee?
Was a typical announcement of an announcement, no? Like, allegedly. Yeah. They made a report which now the ethics committee will check for 6 weeks, and then they will decide if they act on it, or before then they can't publish anything. I don't know. Sounds like... I don't know.
No.
Doesn't sound very convincing to me. Like, there is this big... report which they worked on allegedly for 3 months, led by Klaus de Venter, and now the ethics committee will check it, and then they're gonna say what? Like, okay, very sus, Chad, very sus, but we can't detect cheating. It's not like the rest of the world hasn't looked at this, so I really don't know what's supposed to come out of that.
Yeah. That's let's wait for new. But actually, we should point out that Niemann. He disappeared for. He played this World Rapid and Blitz. I didn't see any games or any sign from him since the last 2 months. I don't know if you guys. He didn't hang out in bars of Paris for sure. But I don't think he was playing anything or even just making some public statement.
Probably plus CV for him to prepare all his 100 million court cases.
Yeah, some lawyers for that. But so I don't know if he will. I guess he will keep playing, but not for the moment.
I obviously have no clue. So I mean, not part of my social circle. Well, who is? But yeah.
I was gonna ask, but I thought that'd be...
So Podcast League continues. I didn't follow this week, but the next week, week 3, I will be commentating starting from tomorrow on Wednesday. So I will know everything for the next podcast. But for the moment, I have no clue. I'm really sorry. But the qualifying phase is still going on. These Gotham Knights, they look very good. This Chessbra as well.
Magnus lost a game, right? I mean...
Yeah, Magnus lost a game. He missed mate in 3 against Vidit.
And then his team lost, as far as I understood.
Yeah, but his team lost a big margin, so that was not because of him. He still made 7 out of 8, so he's still doing well. I don't think it was because of him. Let me check the result. But yeah, I don't know. But okay, it's only there is not yet knockout, so it's not yet heating up. But more on that in the next.
When you are paid to follow it, you will be ready.
Yeah, exactly. You got my point.
One thing that you don't have to be paid to follow is breaking news, Laurent. Tinder uses ELO now. What's your rating?
I don't know. Should I hate myself?
No, but I think
please.
They are using. I was actually researching a bit. They are using ELO rating, but you cannot. You cannot go in and check your ELO rating. So you can only sort of find out in a way that, compared to who they suggest to you, you can sort of try to imagine your rating. But they are definitely using ELO rating to make suggestions. I can honestly say I've never used it, but Laurent, I assume you are a regular user, right? I mean,
not at all.
No. Okay.
No.
But also, what is this rating based on? It's probably inner values, not attractiveness. But how do they find out your?
I mean, it's very easy. It's the number of likes you get. Okay,
exactly.
I know how it works. I never used it, but I know how it works. So you get, let's say, 10 people are viewing your profile, and then
so the more thumbs up you get, the higher rating it's.
Exactly. If you get 5 likes, then you get 50%.
You have an expected score of maybe, let's say, 30% likes. Then suddenly you start getting 50. Your rating rises. They pair you with someone who's higher rated. Then you're not ready for that leak, and you get pushed down a bit. I assume it just functions like in chess.
That sounds very motivating for users to start cheating. No, like to farm likes so that you got all of a sudden you're at 2,800 on Tinder, and it probably gets you more action. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
how's Tinder's anti-cheating?
Yeah, that's of course a good point. I think, yeah. I don't know. I mean, you mean if you have a fake photo, you will get banned? I think that's...
No. You can have your own photo, but just, you can have fake accounts to like yourself. I don't know exactly how it works, but...
No, but it just proves that the Elo score is very well done. I mean, like, except that when you are inactive and you can come back, as Peter, if Peter would come back tomorrow in a Bundesliga game, he was actually on the list of my. I was dreaming. I had a slight day when you said last week when you said I'm going to Germany on Friday. I thought, that's maybe my lucky day. I didn't say anything because I thought, and then I understood that you were going to Berlin. That was really a pity.
So you're saying you could sit on your 2,600 Tinder rating. With the same pictures and not update anything for 20 years and then come back with 2,600 and...
No, but Peter can sit on his rating. And so this is really...
that's the fault of... Well,
that's the only...
It's not the fault of the ELO system. I mean, it's nice to sit on my chess ELO rating, but on the other thing, if you don't use it, what's the point? I don't know. But no, it's just in general that the system started in chess seems to have branched out so many places, and it even works for these kind of algorithms. Well, we knew that it was used for chess, not chess-based Facebook in the beginning. So
really?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at this Facebook movie, you can see some algorithm or equation written on some dormitory wall by Zuckerberg, and that's the ELO algorithm as well.
So we should maybe create profile on Tinder. As we don't have, and then ask the viewers. Maybe it should be a Patreon things, no?
I mean,
we ask viewers to rate, to give us a rating. So we put some picture, and we create. You can write some words, and then we ask people to.
I think when we were running in the FIDE elections, we had this idea to have a Fight for Chess Tinder profile as well, just to create some. But again, I mean. We had so many ideas, but didn't really follow any of them through. So no.
Wow, that's breaking news. I thought.
German Chess Federation is canceling the Schachgipfel, or?
No, that you didn't follow any of the ideas through.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. No, I thought that like me, you're also checking social media. It seems like the German Chess Federation has cancelled the Sommer Schachgipfel, but maybe you can explain me what that is.
I have no idea what the Sommer Schachgipfel was, or I think I was invited to some of these events, but I was connected to it. So, no, I don't know what that was. Is it this big? It's not the big tournament with the German Masters and the German Championship, or is it?
I think could actually be. I think, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That'd be a pity.
No. How is my German? Because when I was in Berlin, I was actually offered to be interviewed to German radio when I was at a demonstration. But somehow I'm very transparent, so I said, no, I'm from Denmark, probably ask someone else. But it was really my chance to say that I'm standing here in front of the Russian embassy protesting FIDE. But no, I'm a keyboard warrior. When it comes to it, I'm very shy.
Yeah, I don't know how your German is. I haven't heard you speak much.
Maybe you haven't heard me speak German for a while. No, fair enough.
I would assume it's better than Laurent's, but not.
That's much better than you. But than me, that's 100% sure. I learned a new word actually this weekend, which I already forgot. I was very proud for the next 5 minutes.
Was it weiterspielen?
Yeah.
No. I learned a new word. I'm so bad. It's German. I mean, this is. But at least I'm not. I'm sure that Jan could pretend that he can give interviews in French.
Pas de problème.
Pas de problème. Yeah, but I cannot. I cannot remember that word. Okay, that's a pity. No, but your French is okay. You should go. Should go ahead, and if there is some interview which comes in French, I can testify that you have the level.
No, I'm more confident in my fake Dutch than my fake French. But yeah, I do it, of course. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on fait aujourd'hui?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've exhausted all our topics. So, Peter, correspondence update. Russia moves to Asia. 21 minutes of FIDE. It's all coming up now.
It's coming up now. Where you want to start, guys?
I'm interested about Russia moving to Asia. Sorry, Jan, but actually because we were talking before the show Russia is moving to Asia. I was asking you if the Russian player can still play the European Championship. You told me yes.
Today, as we record, just a few hours ago, the Asian Chess Federation voted 29 to 1 for allowing Russia to become part of the Asian Chess Federation. So to answer Laurent's questions, why can the Russian players play in the European Championship now? Well, that's because there is an ongoing cycle and you play for the continent that you started with, and that it will only be in effect from the 1st of May. On the 1st of May, then Russia is officially part of the Asian Chess Federation.
No, I was asking in general. So in general, they will play, like let's say, from 1st of May, they will play for Asia.
In general, from 1st of May, Russia is part of Asia. So they can play Asian Team Championship, and they cannot play European Team Championship and European Individual Championships. The ECU has ensured to make a rule that Russian players who wants to change to a European Chess Federation can do that for free if they have some kind of connection, like living there being the obvious. Then they can do that. So the Russian players has a chance to remain part of Europe if they initiate a change like this. But for instance, Russian players cannot change for free to the United States. So it's a sort of kind of local European rule in that way. So that's that's what I can say without being political. Political, I can also...
I mean, like, it's the fact which I didn't... I know, I mean, when I see some tweet about that, I know you will anyway update us. So I'm not reading carefully.
On one of the smaller chat podcast, I heard that they spoke about this subject for like 10 minutes, and they were debating how's the situation going to be in Europe. And for instance, maybe the new powerhouse in European chess is going to be France. They could be the strongest country now.
It's what you mentioned in the chat. Okay.
Yes, I tried to get your attention to that point.
But it was already France.
It's a bit strong, I think. But
I mean, what? Germany?
Spain, maybe, no? Without knowing anything, but some guys moved there already. If they chose to represent the country, all of a sudden they'd have a very powerful.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, there is going to be a new dynamic in that way, and we will see if... you can even see some persons, of course, most notably Jon Ludwig Hammer is sort of saying, well, they can't just be that Russians goes to countries. They need to have some kind of connection to there, I think. And I think also I've seen some...
Why? I mean, why you cannot move? He says that because live in Russia and represent another country.
Well, you can have a debate if it's reasonable or not. I'm actually not having an opinion on that. I'm just saying there will be some kind of dynamics that will be kind of interesting to follow in a way. But the vote was today, and it went through with a overwhelming majority. So, it's going to be the new chess landscape realities. And European zone will also become, I don't know how they will do it with spots for the next World Cup. I mean, they will have to find some kind of different way because, of course, Russia has a bunch of high-rated players. So I don't know if there's an exact formula to do it by and things like this. But
we should get Gechuk in France. He was the only one to listen to our video series back in the days. So he's very welcome to France.
I don't think that's enough connection. There need to be some kind of connection.
He's connected to me.
But that's a strange if you demand both that they leave the country and no longer represent it, but then you also demand they have a connection to whatever country they move to, and if they don't, what shall they do? I don't really understand.
It's not me who made the rules, and I'm also not fully into details on this actual, so I could be wrong there. But I think the point is...
No, I'm not saying rules. I'm saying, like, ethically, if we want them to leave and represent another country in order to play, then we can't say, okay, but you need to be connected to another country.
I don't think that this is particularly ethical in that sense. It's more like this was the rules. For instance, I could change to Lithuania now because I have lived here for a considerable amount of years, but I could not change to Germany I think unless you paid the Danish Chess Federation a bunch of money, which you're probably unwilling to.
I'm not willing to.
No, exactly. But I'm just trying to see how these things works, right? So, I mean...
He's just paying a bunch of money in general, Jan, as far as I know him, and it's the last 20 years. I always heard the same sound from his voice. No, 9, no.
Wow, that's just a lie. We've had many scandals about paying their fair share at dinner over the years. But I was never part of those scandals.
No, a bunch of money is a different.
That's true. I still deny your accusations.
No, we like to spend our money.
I will come with an example that Kostenyuk, she could choose to play for Switzerland because she has a Swiss passport, or she could choose to play to France because she's been living in France, or is living in France. But of course, given the choice of this, she will choose Switzerland, right? But basically, there has to be some kind of connection.
But I'm saying I've lived all my life in Moscow, and now, I want to represent somebody else, then I can't because I don't have that connection.
That would be my hunch, the way.
But isn't that horrible? Isn't that exactly what we want people to do? Or what I thought that...
I think you've been listening too much to me. That's what I would like people to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking,
Yeah. I don't think that this is the particular reason, but...
okay. So we kind of agree on that, actually. All of us. Like, you feel that the Russian went to Spain and have no special connection to Spain, but they want to represent Spain. You feel it's okay, Peter?
Yes. Oh, well, I generally, I have been tweeting like that. Well, we should encourage them. My point has been that, no, we are not banning Russian based on passport. We are banning them based on sporting connection. If they choose to represent Spain, they should be welcome to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I've mentioned, you have seen there is Belarusian athletes competing for Poland in Olympiads and things like this. There hasn't been Olympiads since, but these kind of things. So anyway, you're welcome to butt into my FIDE segment. But this happened today, and I think, Russia is the biggest chess country in the world, right? So it's moving a considerable powerhouse, which means regional championships will be quite different. I don't know. It's going to be China, India, and Russia now, right? Uzbekistan as well, of course. It's going to be quite a battle. But you can see there was basically no resistance. It was a huge majority of votes.
Well, what would you have wanted? To have them stay in Europe and not playing? Or what's the outcome you would have wanted?
I want them not to play, but I think this thing has to be seen in connection with what happens on the bigger scale. While chess is important for us, of course, what mainly matters for Russia is the IOC and the upcoming Olympiad in Paris, right, in 2024. And they are the big fighters that, this Western alliance of 34 countries wants Russia not to participate. Well, of course, Ukraine doesn't want that. And IOC is trying to say that we should make a pathway for Russian and Belarusian athletes where they can compete on neutral and then try to qualify via, for instance, Asia being their suggestion. So, chess is sort of trying to prove that this pathway is possible. So that's the connection I see. And, I obviously support this idea that, for the upcoming years, with the situation as now, Russia should not participate. But I'm aware that in the chess world, there is no majority for that. But that's how I describe the situation, as fairly as I can. Yeah.
It's unlikely the Russian Chess Federation will decide we choose not to play, right? I mean, so...
well, that would probably be asking too much for them to say that we're really sorry, we're skipping this one.
Yeah.
But no, that of course has to be forced upon them. And I don't think the chess world will do it, but it could be forced on... I mean, IOC could theoretically do it in a way. Well, also, I think... Well, there is one sports federation except for chess that's led by a Russian, which is boxing, and they are having qualifications in I think India now with actual Russian and Belarusian flags, which is violating the thing. So there, I think quite some European countries has decided not to go. I think even Norway today was announcing that they were boycotting the event. So boxing has an even bigger fight in that way, but boxing is a bit exceptional there. Anyway, I mean, we are basically... we haven't done my full FIDE segment, but we're doing quite some of it in a way.
Yeah, so let's... What you want to coffee break, Jan? Or what
no, we can also tell you about correspondence chess. I mean, it's up to you.
No, please. But
again...
No.
I mean, more than 70% of our voters voted for...
They're mocking us.
No, they're not mocking us.
You don't understand the irony of the vote. This is sarcasm. From our great listeners, thank you for listening. But this is just because this is sarcasm, because it's not interesting to anyone.
I genuinely think you're wrong, but also we should actually remember to thank our listeners.
I think you are wrong.
Yeah,
as well.
really.
So we're not, and you are outvoted here. You are a winner on Twitter, but here you are outvoted.
Yeah, but this becomes like, in the FIDE, right? That you just have to get to a few guys, the delegates, while in the bigger world, everyone can vote. But we should thank our listeners for one thing, that they have started donating to us on Patreon.
Yeah.
I think that is important.
Are we rich yet? Patreon.com, Chicken Chess Club. How's the financial situation?
Well, I can say that I have spent it all, and I have spent the exact amount of money. I think we have been donated 84 euros, which we are, as far as I understand, we are dividing them equally, right? Or do we have some kind of...
I thought it was based on who contributes the most segments to the show.
That's cool. But at least I have spent my 21 euros this week. I spent 10 euros on a potting mat so I can practice golf at home. I spent 3 euros on plastic golf balls, and then I spent 8 euros today on...
Don't mention.
I like that you invest into your hobbies. You only buy the finest stuff. The 10 euro mat, the 3 euro balls.
Yeah, no, but that's actually the problem. That now I bought this potting mat for 10 euros, but it's got too easy for me. So I'm now, one of the upcoming days, I will spend 170 euros on a better one. So I'm actually ending up in a huge loss here. So
yeah, so please, people.
Yeah.
Peter needs a new putting mat for his living room.
And Jan and myself, we are losing. We are spending much more, and not only in Thailand.
In golf, I'm one of these guys that I just laugh at in chess. I'm one of these amateurs who desperately need to have the, how can I play without having the potting mat, right? I mean, you just can't, I assume, right? I mean, it's like, you can see amateurs players absolutely needing the best engine, the best books, the best opening, stuff like this. Maybe that's what we're living off. I should not make fun of that, right? But...
what we do, yeah. Chessable, chessable.com/Jan.
Buy my E45 Chessable course.
For a Marshall repertoire, you get the same repertoire than Magnus Carlsen, Anish Giri, Vincent Keimer, all the German national team.
But keep reselling it.
It's a brilliant repertoire. It's a very good repertoire. It's a pretty decent opening. Let's face it. Won't be refuted the next morning. Let's face it.
But you don't need to upgrade it like Peter's putting mat.
No, exactly. But also, one of the listeners, I put up a video where I was putting, and one of our listeners seems to complain that my technique was wrong. So I'm even getting free advices from our listeners. So that's it's very useful actually, and I appreciate it a lot. But we can't jump to the.
All right, those were 5 minutes of FIDE.
Oh,
no, it's fine. Do your thing.
No, I mean, we have actually passed it, but I can say that while you guys were in Germany on work, I was there by invitation of the Berlin Schachverband vielleicht, or something like this, and they were having they wanted to have a debate sort of on how on the 1-year anniversary of the Russian full-scale invasion, they wanted to have a debate on Russia's influence in FIDE. But the participants was me, Malcolm Payne, and Bayat, which we are basically the hardcore opposition. So no one else really showed up. So it wasn't much of a debate, but it was a nice social event. There was actually like plus 10 German journalists, so there was some there. But I think basically, I mean, me and Malcolm Payne was incredibly resignatory. I mean, we were basically saying nothing's going to work. It's going to be like this, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know all my arguments. While Bayat was much more, I mean, she was really motivated. She came with, pictures of Iranian people even being tortured. And I mean, she was, very, very value-based and very, very principled in that way, and had even more energy than me, which probably for you is hard to imagine, right? But so there was some debate there, and it was interesting. But again, the point is there was actually no real debate in that way. If anything, I would say a very impressive thing about it was the venue. It was just next to Brandenburger Tor. So I was basically walking there. I was walking past a big demonstration that was shouting curse words at Russia. So there, at least, I felt, okay, they're backing me for my debate. But of course, it was the demonstration there. But, the demonstration, there was actually not that many people. I have to say that I was a little bit disappointed about it. Probably it was also very cold and raining and things like this. But, I mean, we could also go on with a couple of other things in FIDE. I think I made a couple of...
What was the outcome? You didn't debate much, I'm guessing, so did you come up with some demands or wishes? Or what's,
no, I think basically me and Malcolm says that, well, for me and Malcolm it's clear. We think that changes is not coming from the chess world. The happiness with the situation, or at least acceptance of the situation, is too big. Should something change, it comes from the above. I mean, it can, for instance, be from IOC, or what you see right now is 35 countries fighting IOC. So it could be if these countries starts making direct laws, for instance, it could come from also what you see in Germany, for instance, is that Germany was about to lose financial support because the state will not support you financially if you're competing with Russians. Then there was some exceptions was made.
That's no longer the case, but...
No, I'm saying that was changed to that if it's competing for the World Championship, it's okay. And, but you can imagine that there can be sort of political solutions forced upon the chess world, right? Because, the chess world is small. We don't have lobby power in that sense. But I think Bayat was sort of more principled, more, I wouldn't say optimistic, but says that, was saying that, if you have enough passion and patience, there is examples of a few persons winning over many. But I think me and Malcolm Payne was more reluctant that. What we were thinking is perhaps that, at least if you care about Russian influence and not so much about, let's say, corruption, Russian influence could diminish. I mean, Russia's world power could diminish, or it could happen within FIDE that Dvorkovich is not running again, and maybe Russia is busy thinking about other things than keeping this post, for instance, and things like that. So that was more our point of view, I would say. A bit more resignatory, I think some of the journalists was asking, what can we actually do? And I think we were saying that, try to go to your political leaders and say that, they need to do something about this if they want the sports world not to somewhat side with Russia, or at least, or the sports world will say staying neutral. But, there's a huge debate going on in the political world at the moment, is my impression.
I have to disagree on the siding with Russia, the sports world. I don't know anybody that's siding with Russia on this world, on this war, and who's at fault here.
Yeah, but that's not, again, then you have to listen to my argument that, I think the debate is, there is Ukraine's point of view, and these 35 countries is that Russia should be banned, and Russia says that no, we are neutrals. So I'm saying that the neutral point of view is that's siding with Russia in terms of this debate. I understand you're not siding with Russia in the war. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in this debate about how to deal with the sports part. I'm not accusing you for siding with the war.
Yeah, no, I just think the wording is very important there. If you say the sports world is siding with Russia, I mean...
No, that's not what I mean. I'm saying in the terms of they should be allowed to compete or not.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on from this. I think we know each other's opinions. Yeah, that's just important to me because sometimes, and that bothers me about this podcast. I'm trying to avoid this topic because normally it doesn't end well for the debates. But sometimes people think, because also obviously we like to mock Peter for stuff, but sometimes it makes people think that we have no empathy for Ukraine and the victims of this horrible aggression, or even my political positions get very mistaken. I'm fully supporting we like mocking Peter, and I don't agree in detail with all his positions, but please don't confuse it with support for Russia. Anyway, end of public statement.
Laurent want to weigh in on this?
Peace and love.
Yes, peace and love.
Let's hope for. I mean, like, I don't know when this will end, but I hope really, as soon as possible. This is terrifying.
Let's talk about Patreon suggestions and questions instead. Yeah.
Do we have questions? I mean,
maybe we don't.
Our expert editor didn't put them in.
Fair enough. No, I think some were complaining that we are just asking to give them money without giving anything back in return. But
we give you the whole. You know how much time it takes them to look through all the games to prepare painstakingly for these episodes.
This is just amazing, actually. All the time we're putting in to this podcast. So please be nice to us. Be generous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I think we are open to having certain tires if people have suggestions, but like this. But
yeah, for sure. I mean, I would really welcome suggestions, and that would be nice. Except, please, anything but the correspondence segment. This we don't. I mean, like, you can give a lot of money. Okay, a lot. Let's see how much. But
Peter can play a correspondence game against the Patreon subscribers.
No.
Win-win.
Well, if you had allowed me to talk about correspondence, I could tell you that I've kind of lost
but we didn't allow you.
Exactly. So, yeah, fair enough.
That segment is over. I'm sorry. No, people should subscribe. Maybe we can make a goal or something. If we reach a certain amount, then we can talk about correspondence. And let's see if the love of our viewers is real or not. That could be something.
Your business savvy is just as great as your prep for this podcast. So we should be saying.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much for listening, and see you possibly next week.
Who knows?
We never know.
Bye.
Bye.